Welcome to Decodes. So for this month, as part of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we want to talk to some folks here at Nasdaq who do cybersecurity for a living. And one of those folks we wanted to talk to was Durgesh Gupta. Durgesh Gupta is a vice president in our information security division, and he's looking after privacy and vulnerability programs at the company. So you have a really interesting job here. So you were, I guess, basically involved with vulnerability, privacy management, like kind of an interesting part of cybersecurity. How did you get into this role exactly?
Thanks, Ryan. So let me give you some color that what this role requires.
Sure.
So for vulnerability management, as you know that vulnerability is anything which can be exploited on our computer system, and Nasdaq is a technology company.
Right.
So basically, we are discovering around 40,000 new vulnerabilities every week, and from SEC and all the regulatory authorities, the internal audit, they track it very thoroughly that we mitigate all those vulnerabilities, because otherwise that carries a risk to Nasdaq.
Sure.
So that kind of vulnerabilities mitigation requires a lot of coordination, going to cross silo everybody in Nasdaq and understand that what is their business priorities and what are the difficulties they are facing. So we need to strike a balance between the risk to Nasdaq and the business requirements.
I see.
So I guess I was able to do it.
Okay.
That's why I got this role. And the privacy is almost same thing. Nasdaq is running 2,600 applications, and we are constantly changing application, adding new applications. And we are constantly buying new companies. So for every new application comes, we need to understand that what data it has, what is the data flow from one end to another,
Right.
and how it impacts Nasdaq. Do we have a consent of the people from the collecting the data?
Okay. So I guess kind of what is it, as far as like vulnerabilities and so forth, how do they change year to year? Do you see like, I don't know, in 2019, these are the types of vulnerabilities that are the most popular kind that we see the most of, or does it stay pretty consistent over time?
No, you bet. So just look at the year 2018. 18,000 unique vulnerabilities were discovered in the 2018.
Wow.
2017 was a 16,000 around, so there was a 12% number. But 2016 was only 6,000. So from 2016 to 2017 and 18 is a big changes.
Right.
So vulnerabilities keep on changing, and the risk profile keep on changing.
I see. I guess from your end, so like, what do you see in terms of like, what does a successful vulnerability and privacy program look like? What are kind of the ingredients that go into that?
So it is one of the things is that one person should have a passion, and one should be thorough in doing it. For example, every week we go and scan every single device in Nasdaq. And once we have the device and scanning the data, then we go and see that how to prioritize that, because every vulnerability cannot carry the same risk.
Right.
And once we prioritize that, then what next our stage is that we figure it out, that whether we can remediate it, or do we have a mitigation controls for that, compensatory control.
Us as a technology company, we were very comfortable as employees and so forth with technology. With the rise to cyber, though, how do you see like balancing kind of using cybersecurity technology and then also kind of the human factor? And like, how does that work with as it relates to vulnerability and privacy programs? Like, I'm sure there's obviously a huge element of human interaction there, but it's also technology is heavily involved too. Absolutely. So how do you balance that?
Very good question, and thanks for asking it. So, no, we have as we understand that Nasdaq is a big technology company, we have every cutting-edge technology deployed in information security, because we have to have a machine learning, we need to have all the latest tool. But human factor is one of the most important factors. As Lou always emphasized, Brad always emphasized, that security culture. Nasdaq, it carries the security culture, all employees. I will give you an example. Okay. That no matter how many tools we deploy, when you read your emails, there may be a phishing email where some hacker send you an email with a link. Yeah. If you click it, no matter what tool I'll deploy, I mean, yeah, I will have some control over it, but then security is compromised. So as we always say in information security, that security starts from our team members.
Yeah. How do you stay on top of your game?
A few things. I mean, first of all, you need to make sure you're aware of it, that what landscape is in the world outside. And a lot of companies helps that, FBI helps us, they give us a feedback that where is the threat. I mean, we constantly meet them and get the threats. But at the same time, I think the way the information security works, because this is a constant threat, like a cat and mouse game.
Sure.
And you have to be ahead of it. So you need to have a passion for security, and you have to be thorough, because remember one thing, that you can be a million times right, but you only have to be wrong at one time when security is compromised. Yeah. So passion and thoroughness is the key for this job in information security.
Interesting. Great. Well, thank you, Durgesh, so much. This is great talking to you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching as well. Thanks.
Rewrite tomorrow.